Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will learn Tosfos Dibra Maschel Hayakir B'Sefer Ali Skufa. Let's begin by looking at the flowchart of the Gemara so we can see what Tosfos is coming to explain. So here in the Gemara, we presented a Mishnah, and we're going to focus on the first din in the Mishnah, that if somebody's reading a Sefer on the Skufa, on the doorstep, and part of it rolled out into the Rosh Hashanah, the Mishnah ruled that the person is allowed to roll it back. So that's the focus of Tosfos. So let's see the general outline of the Tosfos. The Mishnah ruled that if one side of a sefer rolled from a Carmelist to a Rosh Hashanah, the person is allowed to roll it back. So Tosfos is going to ask why it specifically speaks about a sefer, not any item. It should be the same din by any item, not just a sefer. So let's see Tosfos now in the flowchart form. So the Mishnah ruled that if one side of a sefer rolled from a Carmelist to a Mokim to a Rosh Hashanah, a person is allowed to roll it back. So asks Tosfos, according to Rava, who says we don't make a gzeir by a Carmelist. That means since by a Carmelist the whole issur to carry to and from it is only a gzeir, is only midrabanan, so therefore any issur which on its own is only a gzeir, is only midrabanan, we're not going to apply it to a Carmelist because we don't make a gzeir by a Carmelist. So since the Carmelist itself is a gzeir, and the next issur would also be a gzeir, we're not going to apply it. So says Tosfos, according to that, we have a question over here. Why does it specify a sefer, as if to say that only a sefer could be brought back? The truth is, you should be able to bring back anything, any item that rolled out, part of it was out and part of it remained on the skufa, he should be able to bring it back. Since even if it entirely entered the Rosh Hashanah, it's only asa midrabanan. The whole issur over here to carry is only midrabanan, since we're referring to a Rosh Hashanah and a Carmelist. Add to that the issur to carry, in this case, has another detail that's midrabanan. Because minatera, if part of an item is in one rishus and part of it is in the rishus that the person is in, he's allowed to bring it back in, even if we're referring to a Rosh Hashanah and a Rosh Hashanah. The only reason it's also to bring it in is midrabanan. The Rabbanan didn't want to permit the person to bring it in because it might lead that eventually he'll just bring in an item that entirely left his rishus. So according to this, it would come out that the issur over here to carry is a gzeir l'gzeira. Number one, the gzeira is to carry from Rosh Hashanah to the Carmelist, and number two, it's a gzeira that a person can bring back an item which part of it still remained in the rishus with him. And that being the case, it shouldn't apply over here. We just said that Rava says we don't make a gzeir l'gzeira by a Carmelist. So therefore, the din should have been that not only is a person allowed to bring back a sefer, he's allowed to bring back anything. So why does it specify a sefer? And Tosfos now supports this question, so we shouldn't be able to give a certain answer. And he says, and it must be referring to a Carmelist. We can't say that skufa is a Rosh Hashanah and then we have our question answered. It's a Rosh Hashanah, and therefore the issur to bring it back is only one issur to bring it back, which is midrabanan, because part is in and part is out. So we only made an exception by a sefer because it's kisvei kodesh. Mitzad derech eretz made an exception. Says Tosfos, no, it must be referring to an skufa that's a Carmelist, like Abaya proves in Eruvin. And since it's a Carmelist, our question stands. If it's a Carmelist and the whole issur to carry when part of the item is remained in the rishus and only part of it went out is also only midrabanan, this issur should be removed for everything, not just for a sefer. So why does it only talk about a sefer? And Tosfos answers, the reason we're talking about a sefer is to tell us that even a sefer, the truth is not only could a person bring back a sefer in this case, he could bring back any item. The reason it speaks about a sefer is to tell us that even a sefer, if one side isn't still with him, if one side didn't remain with him in the skufa, in the Carmelist, he isn't allowed to bring it back. And what's the chiddush? We don't exclude something that has no chiddush. The chiddush is that we don't follow, he's supporting the answer to tell us what it's built on. It's built on that we're excluding the opinion. We're not following Rabbi Shimon, who says that whenever it comes to kisvei kodesh and derech eretz for kisvei kodesh, we're not going to apply a shvus. So according to Rabbi Shimon, even if the whole sefer fell into the Rosh Hashanah, we're going to permit him to bring it back, since the whole issur to bring it back is only midrabanan, since they skuf as a Carmelist. So therefore, the Mishnah speaks about a sefer to tell us that even a sefer is only allowed to be brought back when it fell from the skufa, from the Carmelist to the Rosh Hashanah, if part of it still remained in the skufa with him in the Carmelist. So to summarize the Tosfos, we asked why the Mishnah speaks only about a sefer, which seems to indicate that any other item can be brought back, and we know that any item could be brought back, not just a sefer. And we answered that the reason it speaks about a sefer is to limit the din of the sefer, that even a sefer, the truth is anything can be brought back, but even a sefer could only be brought back under these circumstances. Number one, that it's from a Carmelist to Rosh Hashanah. It can't be from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. It has to be from a Carmelist to Rosh Hashanah. And number two, that part of the sefer still remained with him in the Carmelist. However, if the whole thing fell out into the Rosh Hashanah, he won't be allowed to bring it back in, and we do not follow the opinion of Rabbi Shimon, who would allow him to bring it back in.